guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And, okay, we've been talking about how so many people are salty about The Last Jedi apparently being walked back by the Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
And one of the biggest complaints the media has had is how little screen time Rose Tico got. She got like a minute or 76 seconds, I think it was. Lots of outlets talking about how poorly Kelly Marie Tran was treated, that she was completely sidelined.
But it's her character, not her.
Right. And, you know, look, the reason is very simple. I think Rose Tico was not J.J. Abrams' character. Mm-hmm. He didn't know what to do with her. So he just kind of dropped her into some of the crowd scenes.
Apparently it was a point of contention for a lot of people. And, you know, the toys didn't sell. And that was a big running joke. So, you know.
Yeah. And look, you know, we made comparisons before between Rose Tico and Jar Jar Binks, right? We're not trying to. But look. This is kind of what happened. There was a lot of discussion, a lot of backlash against Jar Jar Binks. So George Lucas in episodes 2 and 3 virtually cut Jar Jar Binks out of those. Disney, I could actually see this being a Disney decision, being like, hey, Rose Tico became the poster child for everything that was wrong with The Last Jedi. And there are all kinds of pictures of the toys not selling and all that. So we don't need her in this movie very much.
And here's the thing, people don't seem to understand. Just because people don't like the character of Rose Tico does not mean that they were out to get Kelly Marie Tran. I've said many, many times I did not care for Rose Tico. However, I absolutely adore Kelly Marie Tran. I think she's a sweetheart, and I'd love to hug her. And she looked amazing at the premiere of Rise of Skywalker. And I've said since the beginning that I actually like the actress. I don't think that she was given a very good character. Yeah,
it's true. That's true. We're going to talk about the salt regarding Rose Tico, but we're also going to talk about the rumor that the Crazy Rich Asians director pitched a Rose Tico series for Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Because don't you know people don't like Rose Tico because she's Asian, which had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Had nothing to do with it.
For most people.
But it's really interesting that this happens like right after she gets sidelined in The Rise of Skywalker. Now they're going to do a whole Rose Tico series. Well, maybe, possibly.
It might not be bad if they actually gave Rose Tico decent stories. And not some side quest, fetch quest. And, you know, knocking Finn's, you know, ship out of the way for love, you know, I mean, and gave her an actual decent story. It might not be too bad. People just didn't like her because her character kind of served no purpose except for to, you know, try to be redemption for Finn, who didn't need redeeming.
He was already redeemed at the end of The Force Awakens. He did not need another character to come in.
And a fetch quest on the side.
And a fetch quest. Because they didn't know what to...
And love is the ultimate gift. That's, you know, that's what it it's more to do with that than it had to do with anything else. It wasn't because she was Asian. It wasn't because she was a woman, other than the fact that it seemed that there was these new characters inserted, and Holdo and Rose, and they were there simply to put down Finn and Poe and help them be redeemed again in some way. That's, you know, they had to belittle them to make them strong female characters, which doesn't make them strong female characters.
Yeah,
Rose, other argument.
Rose Tico existed basically to put Finn in his place, just like Holdo existed to put Poe in his place. Mm-hmm. And we see a pattern here, and that was one of the biggest problems we have with Last Jedi.
But it wasn't the actress's fault.
No.
Which I've said multiple times.
But, yeah, Disney probably looked at it even was like, hey, you know, those toys aren't selling. She doesn't need to be in the movie very much. But I think it just came down to J.J. Abrams not knowing what to do with her.
Well, they had to cram 2 movies into one. Something had to go. But they put a penis monster in.
But they took the dick off of the T-shirts and the posters and put Rose Tico in.
Yeah, why they had the dick on there instead of Rose, I never understood anyway. She made more sense to begin with.
Yeah, so anyway, we're going to talk about that. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're around 85,000 subs, hoping for 100,000 soon. Please make sure you are still subscribed. YouTube is up to some shenanigans. There's been chatter on Twitter about how YouTube seems to be purging some subs from channels that are critical of Star Wars or Disney this week.
Yeah, and honestly, we were like losing subs, and you know, a lot. And we're not one of those channels who buy subs. I know there are a lot out there. We are not one of them. So if people are getting, or subs are going down that much, it's because people are being unsubscribed. Yeah,
it was weird. We actually lost a couple hundred, and then they put them right back.
Right.
It was almost like they're taking some out and they're trying to verify if they're real people or not.
They're real. Put them back.
Yeah, but
just double check.
Double check, please. All right, so this coming from Comic Book Resources, Star Wars, Crazy Rich
Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians. It's hard for me to say that for some reason.
It's Crazy Rich Asians. Crazy Rich Asians. Yeah, it is kind of hard because they do that rich to the age.
Yeah. Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians.
What the hell is wrong with me?
I'm
drinking.
It's Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich.
You're not drinking. That's the thing. It's
I'm not.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy CRA director pitches Rose Tico series for Disney Plus. Fan momentum seems to be building for a Star Wars spin-off series centered on Rose Tico.
Fan momentum. A director suggested it.
But there are a lot of media outlets that would love it. The former Resistance mechanic made headlines when the newest Star Wars film seemed to sideline her character. In fact, she was only on screen for a mere 1 minute and 16 seconds.
Did they time it?
Yes.
Like in a stopwatch?
No, they literally did. They literally did. Somebody actually did, watch a film with the stopwatch.
Oh my God.
On Slate.
My God. Well, you should go watch a stopwatch for every character, just to be fair.
Just to be fair. And you'll find out that Darth Vader wasn't in the first Star Wars movie all that much. He was in I think it was less than 10 minutes or 11 minutes or something like that. But Rose Tico was only in The Last Jedi for 10 minutes and 53 seconds. That's all she was in the movie for. The screen time shrinkage has prompted anger from fans.
That's Claude.
Yeah, Claude.
Screen time shrinkage, yeah.
Yeah, including John M. Chu, director of Crazy Rich Asians, in the upcoming movie musical In the Heights. John M. Chu said, "Okay, Disney Plus, put me in, coach. Let's make this series happen. Rose Tico deserved better."
There's a lot of characters who deserve better. Admiral Akbar deserved better.
I want to see a sitcom with Admiral Akbar.
What do you call the Akbars?
Just, the Akbars. That would be great.
Sorry.
That would be great. Meet the Akbars. Meet the Akbars. Like, seriously, what can, Disney Plus, they're going to do all, because isn't his son in Resident, was that supposed to be his son?
I don't know. I stopped paying attention because I didn't care.
All right, so they're talking about a standalone series for Rose, much like the company is doing with Cassian Andor and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I'm excited about the Cassian Andor one, too.
As long as K2's in it, I'm on board.
Yeah, K2 is what makes it awesome.
Yeah, because he's the only one I care about in that movie. But I'm like, Rosie, what's she gonna do?
I like that movie.
Fix ships? That's what she did.
I did like the fact she was a mechanic. I really did.
Yeah, it was cool. But
because I grew up with my dad was a mechanic, and I used to want to help out all the time. And even around here, when things get broken, the one who fixes them is me. So I kind of like the idea of a female mechanic. But
yeah, well, I do fix some stuff.
You fix computers.
I do fix all the computers.
That's
yes.
Right. I don't do the computers. I do the stuff like everything else. Go ahead.
Oh man.
The door needs fixed. I fix it. The floor needs redone. I do it. Everything needs painted. That would be me. Go ahead.
Well, you do like to paint. I'm just
I don't like it, but someone has to do it.
I'm just like, let's just buy another house where the walls are already painted.
Every time we want to change paint color, time to buy a new house.
These walls are boring. Let's go buy a new house. I don't feel like that.
That's the difference between you and me. Go ahead.
All right, so Rose's minimization in episode 9 is unfortunately understandable given how she was one of the most polarizing elements in The Last Jedi.
And it was the character though, because it was not a good character. I'm sorry.
None of Johnson's
Neither was Holdo.
No, none of...
At least Holdo was dead.
At least Holdo had the good sense to blow herself up.
That's right. In a maneuver that, if it exists, why the hell, if that could happen, has it not happened for decades already?
After the release of the film, she became here we go. She became the target of a racist social media harassment campaign. If you say it enough times, it becomes true, leading her to delete her Instagram and nearly disappear from social media altogether. This has been proven to be untrue, I believe. I believe that is not why she left social media.
When I heard people complain about Rose Tico, it was never because she was Asian.
No.
I've never heard anybody legitimately complain that it was because she was Asian. Have you?
No, maybe we're not traveling in the right circles.
Maybe we are traveling in the right circles, so we didn't hear that, because I would have been like, I put my foot down on that, been like, her being Asian has nothing to do with her character sucking.
Well, this is another element of the Rise of Skywalker, racing the actions of its predecessor.
For good reason.
A spin-off could be a nice way to put the spotlight back on a sideline character and her love of horses.
There are a bazillion sideline characters that were better characters they could make a show about.
Yeah, so people are very angry. Like, I was searching for Rise of Skywalker news, and now, to be fair, Rise of Skywalker actually did pretty good on Christmas. It might actually do okay in the long run, and plus the word of mouth is getting out there. You know, people might go see it just because it undid so much of The Last Jedi.
Actually, I'm hearing that for a lot of people. I went to see it because it undid The Last Jedi, so I feel like even if I don't like it, it's not the best movie, I should support it because it's showing that I like this direction and not that direction. And you know, and honestly, what we learned from Solo and boycotting Solo was their takeaway wasn't we didn't like The Last Jedi. Their takeaway was we don't like these standalone movies, and they got rid of those. So by going to a movie to show that you know appreciate that movement towards going away from that last film, that might actually work to the way they want it to.
Yeah, so again, Disney, all they understand at the end of the day is money. That is literally it. But, I went out there looking for news on The Rise of Skywalker, and there were a ton of articles talking about Rose Tico and how she got shortchanged. And it's so weird. We did a video yesterday talking about how they can't get over Rian Johnson.
I love this. This is so funny. They're talking about Rose and Holdo, because unfortunately behind every great woman, I would never say either one of those characters were great, there's a gang of trolls waiting to pounce, and Holdo Rose became the targets of hateful online campaign that became the real harassment, which wasn't. Of racist and sexist. This is what I'm talking about. That is not what happened. And behind every male character, there's a bunch of people like this woman who are they're bitching because they're not a female. I mean, behind any character, there's a bunch of people causing shit. So, you know what? And I'm tired as a woman not liking these characters, and I like them for legitimate reason, or didn't like them for legitimate reasons, and I'm still supposed to be a troll because I didn't like them. It's like basically anybody who doesn't agree with what we like are trolls, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, because
they troll characters all the time. These kind of journalists troll characters. They try to troll characters because they're too white, or they're too male, or they're too whatever, and that's okay because that's trolling against the bad things. They're just supporting the good ones according to them. You know what? They were shitty characters. I am sorry. They were not good characters. They just weren't.
Well, they're talking about how there was misdirection because J.J. Abrams was praising Kelly Marie Tran, ultimately to just pull the rug out from underneath the Rose fans.
It might not have been his choice either.
She has 3 scenes. Her important role in the Resistance is that of tech support.
Tech support is an important role.
That is an important role. So Finn and Rose are no longer together. They weren't
together anyway. But they weren't really together anyway. They were on a fetch quest, and she kissed him. They weren't. You said about that didn't put them together because she liked him.
Unless they're talking about like going on a
I don't know, because from now on, if I like somebody, we're automatically together, even though that person doesn't understand that we are.
I think it just came down to J.J. Abrams not knowing what to do with these new characters that he did not create. So he basically put the trio back together. Plus, that could have been a mandate from Disney. Like, hey, people would like to actually see these characters together, not be split up. So bring the core 3 characters together, and that doesn't leave room for Rose Tico.
Mm-hmm. No, they complain about that because they said Claude, the slug-like alien, takes her place as a Falcon's repairman. Zori Bliss is introduced in a role Rose could have played. Is it Jana or Jaina? I don't know. Replaces her connection with Finn.
Yeah, well, she wasn't supposed to. Basically, look, I'm going to be honest, because Rian Johnson derailed this trilogy with The Last Jedi, she wasn't even supposed to be there.
It gets better. The fact that the 2 women that JJ introduced only exist to provide backstory and emotional connections to men and have no story of their own adds insult to injury. Because they're there because they, to further the story and not, because they weren't there just to belittle the male characters to make take them down a peg and learn them and how to be better. They were there because they were part of the backstory and emotional connection to move the story forward. That's bad because it was a connection to the men. But behind every woman character, there are trolls. But she just you just almost hear her spitting the word connections to men. Insult to industry. So insult to injury. So behind every male character, there is trolls.
So what happened? It's hard to tell if Disney caved into the most racist and sexist parts of Star Wars fandom while still trying to keep her face in the movie as token representation.
That's all their go-to is tokenism. Mm-hmm.
Or if the idea to replace her role with 4 new characters with no arc came directly from J.J. Abrams for some other reason. Kelly Marie Tran definitely filmed more scenes than the ones that appear on screen. Her body appears head chopped off. On many Resistance-based scenes, did she have a larger role that ended up on the cutting room floor?
So do a lot of characters.
Perhaps her fans are supposed to feel lucky that she's in the movie at all.
That's right. But you should feel lucky she's in the movie. Actually, I had no problem with Rose Tico other than the fact that it wasn't to do about sexism. It wasn't to do about being Asian. It's about the fact that as a woman, I am a woman, I felt that she was basically there, as was Holdo, to take characters that were the 2 male characters and make sure they put them in their place and show them, what's what. And I'm a woman and a writer who's telling you this. Because in the old movies, like Star Wars movies, like Leia held her own. She didn't need like a handicap to show she was the strong female character she was. It feels like that these guys were given handicaps to make sure you understood that these were the strong female characters of the film. And that's just lazy ass storytelling. And then, if you feel, and now these other new females don't seem like they were given that, like they weren't elevated falsely for no reason. And you're pissed about it. That's what it sounds like to me. It's not sexism if a woman says it about a woman.
They're just pissed. They're just pissed off because they spent 2 years rubbing it in to all the man babies that
even if you weren't a male.
Yeah, that look what we did to your Star Wars. Look you white men. Look what we did to Star Wars.
You don't like Rose because you're racist. It's like it has nothing to do with her being Asian. She could have been any color and people still wouldn't like the character because the character wasn't good.
Disney doesn't like the character because she doesn't sell toys. That's why she wasn't on the merchandise.
Honestly, it doesn't necessarily mean it was Abrams who made the decision. It could have been Disney, honestly.
I think it was probably Disney. I mean, honestly, look, she became the poster child for all the toys that didn't sell.
But what sadly happened was, now, not to the extent the media makes it out, people did kind of blame Kelly Marie Tran, but it wasn't her fault. She was just doing her job with what she had to work with. And I've said repeatedly that, I like Kelly Marie Tran. I have no problem with Kelly Marie Tran. But liking Kelly Marie Tran and liking Rose Tico aren't the same thing.
Yeah, so I expect to see a lot more salt about this because, as the months and years drag on, it becomes more and more apparent that Disney is stepping over The Last Jedi, including the characters that were introduced in The Last Jedi, and they become more and more marginalized, probably, because they're not selling toys.
They're not, and people have a problem with it. Sorry. And Disney would not have done this unless they had tons and tons of information, data collected, to show them that this was problematic, or they would not have done anything about it.
Pretty much, and that's how it works, and that's what you need to realize, guys. You've been rooting for the wrong team because all they care about is money. All they care about is money, and they are willing to turn on a dime and chase after another audience if they think it's going to.
Well, especially with this franchise because they went so far in the hole to buy it.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah, I'm getting so tired talking about it.
I know. Well, after this, I think Star Wars is gonna go into hiatus for.
I'd rather talk about nice things like The Mandalorian or the original trilogy or things I like.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll do more of that. We have to watch the last episode of The Mandalorian yet and give a review on that. I think we'll do it. Then we can kind of, because we didn't review the last couple episodes.
We'll just do it all in one.
Yeah, just do kind of a wrap up on The Mandalorian. So we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.